What it do, Nick Nation? What it do, Nick Nation? What it do? KOD Universe, stand up, and all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to another fine episode of the Knicks Morning Brew. I am your guy Hector, here with my guy Phil Porto. What it do, brother?
Chilling, bro. Can't complain, man. We're coming off a big win and kind of just getting ready to
Right.
stuff my face tomorrow for Thanksgiving, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it, bro. I can't complain. How's your week been?
Oh, my week's been good. Besides having a little bit of the sniffles and being a little bit under the weather, I'm still here, baby. You had to make sure I showed up on Wednesday for the guys.
Yeah, bro. Can't complain. And it's crazy, man. There's been like so much talk around the
Mm-hmm.
New York Knicks right now. Good stuff, bad stuff. Like it's all over the place. So I feel like we got so much that we can chop about this week that it's kind of crazy. And we're
Yeah.
having less shows, so it's like, how do we get all that content out? Kind of really can't. But we're gonna do what we can today.
Yeah, for sure. We got a special guest joining us later on. As soon as he gets backstage, we're bringing back Kosha Dillz, famously of Wildin' Out. I've been watching him. It's funny because while the Yankees were in the playoffs, he was at Yankee Stadium freestyling, right? Just doing his thing at Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
So when you said that you got this lined up, I was like, oh, this can't be this. Nothing could be better than having Kosha Dill on a Wednesday. But brother, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
When it comes to the last game, let's talk about it, baby. What was your takeaway from it?
Yeah, bro. So first things first, like anybody who is at this point who does not think that Jalen Brunson is the truth and he is that guy needs to delete all social media because
Yep.
none of us want to hear what you have to say after that performance. Like,
Yeah.
that boy is the truth. Like, Jalen Brunson is what the Knicks have been wanting for years. So if you got a problem with Jalen Brunson, like, stop being a Knicks fan because this boy is the future of our team, and I'm excited for it. That was the big takeaway. And then the second, RJ was back. I
Yeah.
know on the last episode, me, you, and Jigga, we talked about how much we love,
Mm-hmm.
RJ, but like,
Little tough love. Little tough love goes
yeah,
a long way.
are we a little wrong on him being like the future? And I think he
Mm-hmm.
said, guys, believe in me. Like, I
Yeah.
got this. And so this morning I'm rocking that homage NBA Jam shirt right there with RJ Barrett and Obi Toppin because that's my squad. That's
Mm-hmm.
who I'm putting in that 2-on-2. So shout out to homage for that. But those were my
Yes.
big two takeaways. And then obviously that Julius Randle is not going to vibe with the victories of this team. He's not going to celebrate anybody but himself. He proved that
Mm-hmm.
time and time again. So people stop letting him pull that wool over your eyes and make you think that he's going to be a different player at any point. What were your takeaways from the game?
Well, first and foremost, I want to shout out Doom and Madlib for this dope T-shirt. A little partnership we got going on with them. The link to the Etsy store is down in the description. Use the code Morning Brew to get a little bit of a discount. For some merch. But yeah, 100%, bro. When it comes to Jalen Brunson and the 18 games he has played so far with the Knicks, he's 32.6 minutes. He's averaging 20. Hold on, wait, let me get it right there because I literally just had it. He's averaging 20 points per game, literally just above 20 points per game, 20.8 points per game. And his field goal percentage, that's what is the most that stands out to me. His field goal percentage is basically 50%. He's shooting a little bit under 30% from beyond the arc from the 3-point line, but totally from the field. You see how is the work that he does down low. If Jalen Brunson was 4 to 5 inches taller, he'll probably be one of the best big men in the NBA just because his footwork and his how he gets down low. But so far so good. It's 18 games into the season. We
What
are
it do, Hector?
9-9, baby. What it do, Jiggaman? How you feeling, bro?
Morning, fellas. Sorry, a little late.
Morning.
I had
All
to
good, all
get the
good.
coffee together. I had to make sure I had the Knicks Morning Brew voice in there. Hold on, you DJs, wake up! I can't do it. That's your
You
line.
got to get the full bravado.
I
You
gotta
got to get the
work
full
it.
bravado.
You Legions, I don't know. Like all of a sudden, I got an accent, bro. It got weird.
Yeah, stick to your daytime job, bro.
Yeah,
stick to your day job.
Coffee. Eric, you guys do your thing. What up, DSJ in the chat? Eric Wallace, good morning, salute. My ears are ringing, so I'm guessing Phil already had his man crush moment, right? Did he go Jalen Brunson crazy on everybody?
Yeah, he went Jalen Brunson crazy. I was pointing it out in the 18 games so far this season. Jalen Brunson is averaging 32.6 minutes per game and averaging 20.8 points per game, with on top of it 6.7 assists per game. If you compare him to say like Fred Van Fleet that everybody was talking about, Fred Van Fleet averaging almost the same amount of points, almost the same amount of assists, almost the same amount of rebounds, but he is shooting 38% from the field, while Jalen is shooting basically 50% from the field. So I'm happy with Jalen, baby.
Yeah, I mean, we've been asking for it, right? Point guard. Mm-hmm. We got ourselves one. Now imagine when that boy is able to get unlocked, because I don't feel he's unlocked yet, right? I still feel there's hesitation there due to this one guy that I know we will touch on him shortly on why he's still on this team. Imagine if that toxicity was removed and this squad was able to run through Brunson, let him have the keys, let him control. Imagine the chemistry this team could have if we didn't have this toxic. Oh, can we get there yet? You want to wait? Okay, I'll wait. Go ahead, Hector. I'm sorry.
No, but you're right though, because it is toxic, right? It is how can I say this? When it comes to the log jam, right? When it comes to the traffic that's down low because of this one person that you mentioned, he should not be named, just like in Harry Potter. But when it comes to the log jam that's down in the paint and the selfishness and the black hole that is that man that wears number 30, we have to be able to point it out. And as a team, the only way this team can move forward is to get rid of this one player, right? Like we said numerous times before on the show. We're not here to bash that man, right? Like I said, if he's in the right situation, he's going to be able to perform. If he's in Miami, I think Miami will get the best out of him. It's just the course. It's ran its course here in New York City. It's not working anymore in the Garden, and changes need to happen. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, bro. Like here's the thing, man. What's crazy about like Knicks Twitter, Knicks Instagram, all these like, content creators, you get a huge split, and one thing that's really been driving me nuts is certain people that are like, yo, stop being the body language police, as if you know what that player, really feels like. He's just exhausted. And I'm like, bro, no. Like I'm not being body language police. My wife rarely watches, full games with me. And one thing she always says is, why does he always look like there's every other place he would rather be than on the court? Why does he look so pissy when so-and-so is doing well? My wife, who's not a body analyst or an NBA hater, as some people would call it, she is just someone that's watching the game and being supportive with me. And obviously she's able to point out the fact that he is always like a hater. Baby, don't lie. My wife.
She's calling you out in the chat. She's calling you out in the chat, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil is a liar based on this comment right there. Okay.
Yeah, so we're not being body hater analysts or anything like that. Like it's just ridiculous that like he can celebrate so hard after playing so hard when he puts up that big game. Last week, he had enough energy to celebrate, to run, to scream, to say, what's my name, and puff himself up, receive love from everybody. And he was not too exhausted, even though he was sick. But now people are saying, oh, he's just tired from the road trip. That's why he walked off the court early. That's why he wasn't dapping up RJ and Obi. Like, that's bullcrap. He was healthy now. Didn't put in even 1/3 of the effort that he put into that other game. So how all of a sudden is he too exhausted to celebrate? Like, boy took a nap during the game. He should be energized as frick at the end of it to celebrate people. So that junk just pissed me off. Like, that boy's got to go. Like, he is a cancer to this team. And we saw what can happen when he's not in the rotation. When Jalen can run the point. When Grimes could take take that spot and Grimes can run it. Like straight up, he is just horrible. What happened? And Phil should invite Julius Randle and skip. Yo, bro.
DSJ, the troll version
DSJ is the king of the trolls.
Here's the
bro.
thing, DSJ.
You got me walking around introducing myself as Lex Luthor at this point, bro. Hey, nice to meet you, Lex Luthor.
My mom and my grandma will be here for Thanksgiving. You get those two Puerto Rican women in a room with Julius Randle, and he is going to have a horrible, horrible night because they are going to call him out on all of his crap throughout the whole night. Boy's going to leave defeated. So maybe he should come over.
Yeah, well,
listen, I won't do that to Julius. That's just rough. Okay, I'm not even going. I'm letting my brother have both of them this Thanksgiving. Enjoy.
When it comes to Julius, for me, right? Julius seems like he's the aggressor in an abusive relationship, right? He likes to gaslight, right? He likes to throw blame on everyone else except for himself. And, the lack of accountability, we've talked about this on the last show, right? Accountability is a big thing. Honesty is the best policy. If you cannot be honest with yourself, if you cannot hold yourself accountable and you just want to blame everybody else, you're shooting yourself in the foot and you just make yourself look bad at the end of the day. Point blank, period.
See, I mean, obviously we can sit here, bro. Like, let's be real. We can do like a 4-hour Knicks Morning Brew just talking about reasons why to trade Julius. You know what I mean? But
yeah, facts.
If you need any more proof than what just happened the other day during that game, the way he wasn't even dapping up his players, the way I don't care about body language, shaming police, whatever. I mean, let's be real. We got a lot of our content guys that all pointed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's only hype and happy when it's him doing his thing and he can praise himself. He's not, he doesn't care to be in a position to lift up other players. He's not in a position to care. And it's so apparent, bro. And it's frustrating because we should walk away from that win the other night happy that we had the revenge game. And we were, as Knicks fans, like, yeah, we pulled it off. We walked away from this West Coast trip 3-2. But how do you walk away from that game and not have to focus on the fact that Julius Randle doesn't give two shits about the Knicks players, point blank. He does not care about this team, and it's something's got to be done, dude. Like, we cannot go a half a season. We can't go all the way up to the trade deadline just sitting here hoping something happens.
Yeah.
We can't.
Yeah. When also too, and a lot of people compared him, Julius Randle, to Zach Randolph, right? Zach Randolph got drafted in 2001 by the Portland Trail Blazers. It took Zach Randolph until 2009 to figure out how to play team basketball when he went to the Memphis Grizzlies, right? It took him that long to figure it out. And for Julius Randle, I'm not sure if he ever is going to figure it out. Hopefully he does. They got all these trade rumors now with, Emmanuel Quickley and stuff, which, we'll get into, but hopefully Quickley, these trade rumors was Quickley is we attach Quickley to Randolph and get Randolph out of here.
Yeah, it stinks, man, because we've said it, numerous times that.
And Jiggaman, you need to put $1 in the swear jar, bro. You just cursed. I'm just saying.
Did I? Oh, I know we started that. All right. We're gonna keep everybody, so y'all know we decide we're gonna do $1 anytime, even if it's just a word like Nikes. All right, $1 in the pot. So we'll find out at the end of the month. Whatever's in the pot, we'll do a giveaway to the chat. All right. All right, so you know what? This is bullshit. So there's $2. Right?
Goodness gracious. I don't, whatever. I don't even know where
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. All right. Let's talk about, we were talking about IQ being attached to Randle.
Yeah. So the Julius Randle IQ stuff. So with Julius, we've said it before, our hate for him on this team is not hate for him as an individual, as a person. If he could go somewhere else and be successful, we want to see that. That leads me to the Quickley Rose trade. So rumors has it that it's not so much a Julius Randle Quickley, but more so maybe a Rose Quickley or a mix of the three. We'll see. But either way, as much as I like Quickley, the idea of what they want to do is a lot better for us in the end. Like, they are thinking that taking Quickly and another player can get us a possible star. And I'm not going to say yes or no if it's going to happen. There are so many rumors out there. There's Zach LaVine rumors. There's Shea Gilchrist Alexander rumors. There's a lot of rumors. But apparently,
there's the rumor that the Knicks reached out to me to be the head coach, and I put a comment out.
Word. Yeah, and they said that would be a horrible idea. And then
I'm taking my ball and going home.
But yeah, so what we want out of it though is a first round pick, which is genius because if you look at this like draft coming in, this draft is stacked. Like up to like 30th pick, like everything is kind of a holy crap, this player could be dope. And so there's a lot of guards and a lot of wings that could be the replacements to a Quickly or a Randall, and we would win because we could get a star plus that pick. And for a team like Chicago, that could work because they're trying to figure out what's missing in the pieces because they are in a win now mentality. They have DeRozan, they have Vooch, like they don't really want to start from scratch again. And maybe ditching out Zach and bringing in Quickly and Rose could be a good thing for them. And it would be beneficial for us because we get a star, but we also get that young pick that we need to keep the young youth of our team going that we're on that trajectory for.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, right? That's IQ, but we saw the writing on the wall, right? I mean, we knew he would probably be one of the pieces that has to go, you know, especially seeing him continue to be on that lockdown defense. Like, I'm an IQ fan, right? Mm-hmm. But it's at the point, I told you guys, every episode, I don't care what the trade is, as long as Obi's not included in the trade. And we got to do what we got to do to dump Randall. Got to do what we got to do to get rid of Fournier, whatever. Like, think about it. Fournier's not even in the discussions of this stuff. Like, nobody's even talking Fournier still.
Right?
Who? We're just happy he's not even that he's not playing. Right? So we don't even care. It's like, in our minds, he's already traded. Okay? Does it suck to see IQ go? It does. Mm-hmm. But I will do whatever it takes and support whatever it takes outside of Obi if it gets Julius gone so we can actually start. I find it hard to evaluate our team. All these people, your team's mid. Oh, you guys spent all this money on Brunson. He ain't nothing. Again, I cannot evaluate this team with the coaching we have in place and with Randall on the team. How do you evaluate it? You're not testing new things out. So if IQ's got to go so that can happen, great. I don't want to talk about the draft and the picks and all that because I don't feel like we do anything right anyways. So just get them out and let me see our team play.
Yeah. That's all we can ask for, right? And you said it best. You know, when it comes to the draft, like, you know, the Knicks have planned on trying to tank to get a high draft pick for years, and it never works out, right? So when it comes to this team for the rest of the way, we're 8-8 right now, which is not 100% horrible. But we see glimpses, right? We see little spurts where you could see that, oh my God, this team really does play well together, right? But then it's messed up because Mr. 3-0 comes back in the game and makes everything about himself. RJ Barrett in his last game, even though he scored 25 points, even though he had a solid game shooting from beyond the arc, I think it was 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, he still had 6 turnovers. That can't happen. Right, we can't have RJ score 25 points against OKC, and then Friday we got our game Friday, and then he disappears and only scores 8 to 10 points. We can't have that. We need to see more consistency from RJ Barrett, and it's not going to happen unless this man is off the team. When it comes to Julius Randle, hopefully we can get him off, like Jiggaman said. This coach has to go as well, and then just let the kids play. Let Obi play. See what we can get out of Obi. They're talking about trading Emmanuel Quickly. That's what we're talking about. But then it's like, all right, cool. If we trade Quickly and D Rose, who's our backup point guard? Miles McBride. That's the backup point. Quentin Grimes is the back. Who's the backup point guard? Mm-hmm. And that's what confuses me.
Yeah. I mean, and it makes it tough. But again, I will do whatever it takes. I'd rather run into another problem that we have to solve as long as the first problem is solved. And that's, hey, we got rid of Julius. You know what I mean? Because we cannot structure this team with him playing the way he does.
Facts.
Yeah. That's true, man. Yeah, that's a lot. And so we're in a season of transition, you know, of like, we're not where we want to be, but we see what it could be. And so with that, I want to go into inviting our guest up. Because when it comes to like a time of transition, I've personally been able to watch this guy's journey, kind of like Hector was talking about, like, you know, during the Yankee time, he was outside at the Yankee games freestyling, you know, and so I've been following him through social media. And, you know, it was like in 2021, he had like a big experience where he was freestyling in front of the Garden after we spanked the 76ers, I believe it was.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Fat Joe like sees him, drops a 20, and then proceeds to like come up, grab the mic, and spit an old verse, which Kosha starts rapping the verse with him because he's that knowledgeable about like his hip hop music. And it started to like unleash this like series of events in his life where it just continued to blossom. And then like 4 months ago, I'm freaking watching the dude on Wallin' Out battling Shaun, who I followed his rap battle career for years. So it's been cool to see Kosha grow. So I wanted to bring somebody who loves both the Knicks and hip hop, which are my two favorite things.
Oh my God, the double whammy.
The intersectionality.
Here's the homie, Kosha. Can we bring him in? Can we bring him in?
Kosha,
you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to bring my Knicks colors.
Hold on. I'm about to say
that's fire, bro.
I want the hat.
Yo, you just dropped that merch, right?
Yeah, I dropped it. I dropped it recently, reordering, and you know, the merch is always in and out, nonstop.
That's what is fire too, by the way, my guy.
Yeah, we'll drop a link in our description after the video so that people can check it out.
Please do.
Yeah, definitely.
Trying to sell it all, man.
Yeah, I'll say this, guys. We've had Kosha on the show for literally like 30 seconds. I'm already jealous of the sweater he has on and the hat. So I'm gonna go backstage and I'm gonna start ordering stuff right now.
You know what's so crazy? I don't know who gave me this at some point, but somehow I had it. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." You know, it just says New York. That's all it says. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
but Coach, appreciate you for jumping on with us. You know, taking time out of your morning to sit down with the Morning Brew crew. Definitely appreciate you.
I had to get my coffee. I had to be proper on the show.
That was the question I was going to ask you. What kind of coffee do you go for? Like, because me personally, I'm a Bustelo guy. I'm Puerto Rican. I can't help it. It's in my veins. But for you personally, what's your go-to coffee? Are you a corner store bodega blue cup kind of guy, or do you go get the three macchiatos? What do you like to get?
Nah, I really try to stay. It just depends how I'm trying to treat myself. If I'm like feeling super hungry and gritty, I just go to the bodega. And then if I need to treat myself to, like, you know, you deserve more in life, you've worked so hard, and you spend $4.20 on the same kind of coffee just down the street at the gentrified place, you know. There you go.
100%. You hit that right on the head.
You know.
I'll be back. Headed to Starbucks, guys.
Go like what Phil was talking about, how he watched you over the years. And for me, you caught my eye when you was at Yankee Stadium this past postseason doing the freestyles over there at Yankee Stadium. So it made me want to take a deep dive into you. And Kosha, when I said that, I was surprised and amazed at the same time with your lyrical skills, bro. Your audition that you had for Wildin' Out, where you literally ethered everybody else that was auditioning for Wildin' Out at that time. That video that's online, bro. Credit where credit's due, bro. You really are a lyricist out there.
Thank you, man. I got a lot of stuff. Coming. And sorry about that. It was just, crazy neighbors.
Don't worry.
I've been rapping for a long time, man. And, I came up when I was a teenager in New York, coming from Jersey, visiting the city, and just, I'm starting to get some flowers now, to be honest, like the flowers are coming extremely late. So it's similar to a Knicks path, I mean, I really started getting into the Knicks stuff. I wouldn't say I'm a basketball fan, like I wouldn't say that's like my thing, but I was into, I'm into the underdog. I'm into being an underdog. And also just a lot of my friends in New York that I made are all Knicks fans. So that's how I sort of got onto it. And another guy I rapped with who's big in the Knicks community on Knicks Twitter, Papa Left. It's also a really great rapper.
We love Papa Left.
And he's just really into the Knicks stuff. And I started like rapping outside the games or rapping outside Madison Square Garden. And you know what? It was happening before Knicks season. I was doing it at the Versus battles. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Takeoff passed away. And one of my first videos before I ever rapped with Fat Joe, the Knicks thing happened so quick. And also the Yankees thing happened so quick. First off, I went to one Yankees game. I rapped outside and it went viral off the jump.
Yeah.
The first one I did was like, I was already on the rate. Like, so that was really crazy. The Knicks.
That's the one that I saw.
The Knicks was about 3 to 4 games. And each game was already, there was something happening. The first game was Side Talk and Bing Bong with Nems. And that was on one side of Madison Square Garden. And I was on the other side. Like I battled some drunk guy and that got like a gang of views. It got a gang of views, like a gang of views, right? And then
that was the one that you talked about him shopping in was it like Greenwich or something?
Bushwick or something like that.
Bushwick,
clothing. Yes, that one. And then that Fat Joe thing that same day on the Main Street side of like 34th and 7th, Mark Ronson filmed me, the DJ Mark Ronson who produced for Amy Winehouse, and another dude, another like famous Venezuelan rapper with like millions of followers, like sang with me too. So, and that was just before I had with Fat Joe. So there was like a succession of crazy things that happened there. But even before that, it's just funny now because Takeoff, I had a video that never popped off. I mean, I don't know why it did, wasn't like the most famous of the Migos, but because he passed away now, just this week, it just went crazy. So people are like putting all the pieces together. Oh, that's the guy with Fat Joe with all the, with the Wild and Out thing. The Wild and Out thing really came from Knicks stuff, doing stuff at Madison Square Garden. I mean, at least I got the audition. And then, once I was there, then you get to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that whole place, Madison Square Garden, has changed my life. Cool.
Yeah,
and it's just
that's
changed
awesome,
your guys'
man.
lives too.
Yeah. It's cool because as a Knicks fan, as a hip hop fan, like even hearing that you weren't like huge into basketball growing up, and like just seeing like people from the community that are diehard Knicks fans that we've kind of been in community with, just seeing that relationship with you, like seeing, you talk about Papa Left, you talk about, I see you and Anthony MSG, chilling at the marathon, and just seeing how the Knicks community, as big as it is, like just like the hip hop community, when you realize who's real and who's not, you kind of start to gravitate towards one another, and so I see that like huge parallel between the two is like, okay, I've followed you for a long time. This is the first time we're actually like connecting, but I can't go through your feed without seeing people that I connect with a lot more often, just through our relationship with the Knicks. So I think that's, really, really fresh. And so I wanted your opinion on like, when it comes to, like how you did start enjoying the Knicks, like what kind of like relationship do you see between those two? Like your love for hip hop, people's love for like basketball, and how the communities are very similar.
Well, I'll tell you what, my first thing with basketball was that I became a playable NBA 2K character in 2K11. So I won the Hot 97 battle in 2009. This was like my first big New York thing. And somehow I entered a contest to get a song in 2K. And I didn't like win, but then I met the guy somehow like promoting Old Flyers in Austin, Texas, the guy who was doing all the marketing for 2K. And I don't know if you guys are big 2K people, but
big time 2K fan.
That like I got to meet they made like Drake, Snoop Dogg, Bow Wow, and then they had some underground rappers from Duck Down, and that's who I was associated with. Like an old school New York hip hop label, and basically I became a playable character, and people were like, "Yo, how you don't even play ball," you know? And I was like, "Yo, man, that's how I kind of got into it." But like even when people were, you know, I didn't really have connection like with it. But once I became part of the New York world, I feel like it's very much of an underdog world, the street performer world, and then even MSG contacted me. And they are like, we need to do a piece on you because what's happening at the Garden, what's happening outside the Garden is getting more views than the Knicks. Like, then it's like, it was like,
True.
That's who approached me. And they were like, this is crazy that we're not doing something on you because if these guys win, and they obviously didn't win, and then it went into the Rangers, and then they were like, well, the Rangers are winning, so now we got the Knicks, you know, and it's all combining. And so MSG was really intrigued by my story and did a whole piece on me. And I thought that was cool, you know? And I think, you know, in a parallel of like, you know, you look at people with a 500 record, the people, they're always really good. And there's something missing from them being a champion, but there's something that's like, yo, they could beat the champion, you know, on one given day, they'll win. And that's sort of like a New York attitude. Like, yo, we're undefeated. We're 1-0. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like, as long as we keep a 500 record and that's sort of been my, you know, I wrestled in college and high school, and I was sort of like that guy. I was, you know, I was just like, you know, it comes from a rap battle mentality and a one-on-one kind of victories. You're very competitive. You want to be doing better than your peers, even though there's not really a competition here in New York, but it kind of is. And, you know, so in New York is very like, okay, well, you got this much money per year. Well, I got to make more. There's no real competition, you know, in this world of happiness and life. But in basketball, there is like either you win or you lose, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that's sort of, we are all kind of like grabbing onto our course of life. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are like, man, my shit is fucked up and I need this team to win, so I have something to feel good about, you know?
Was there, you know, growing up, you know, you pointed out how you grew up in Jersey and you would come back to the city back and forth. Was there a specific rapper that you looked up to growing up, whether it was a mainstream rapper or underground rapper that you could point to, that you could be like, all right, this is the first track you heard from them, and then this is when you decided this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, well, this guy passed away. His name was Pumpkinhead. I was just a great rapper. I mean, I come from really super underground New Rican Poets Cafe stuff.
Same.
But just listening to, you know, LP Company Flow, which became Run the Jewels, was just really great. And Cannibal Ox and you know, all my peers, you know, listening to Boot Camp Click, listening to, you know, Wu-Tang, listening to Raekwon, and then getting to work with these people was exciting for me. I don't think there was any one calling, but I really loved the lifestyle of hip hop and just something that I breathe, you know, trying to get on a radio station and get them to play your song. And I remember like waiting to call up Bobito for 89.9 on Thursday. I mean, there's just like a very classic underground hip hop stuff. And now this is when these people were 20 and now they're in their 40s and 50s. It's like, it's really nuts to see who's still doing what and etc. You know, like I sort of getting my break now. It's great. It's crazy at my age. It's now I'm like in my full stride of shit. But it was not more of the people of like what rapper I was listening to that made me want to come to city, but like the act of driving to the city and taking a subway and going to the spot. And, you know, there's like a sort of path that you're taking, which I find very similar to people going to a Knicks game. You know, you probably go, you same bar, you go to that little Irish spot, a tier knock or whatever the hell it is called.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I started doing when I was rapping outside the spots, you know? And that became like its own little thing for me, you know? And yeah.
It's
awesome,
funny
man.
because so far, I mean, you talked about your experiences at the Garden, right? And what kind of, Madison Square Garden did for you. I remember Madison Square Garden for me, and I remember the moment that Madison Square Garden became the Mecca for me. And that's when I was at a Boyz II Men concert. So we both had different experiences at the Garden, all right? I learned how to fall in love with R&B and hip-hop because of that time right there. But I got to ask you, with this current team right now, Kosha, how are you feeling about this team? What sticks out to you in a positive light? And if you want, tell us some of the negatives you see with this team right now, too.
There is something different than I don't think they came out like they did last season. I felt like there was way more winning. Like, I don't know, there was hype around last season, and it could have been because there was like the whole Bing Bong thing.
Right.
And this season, it's not as loud and extravagant. And I'm sort of a person that follows culture and hype more than I follow specific games, because I don't really know. Like, I'm not a real fan. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say I'm a real fan. I'm just like, I'm part of, I hold my, I'm next to the dude with the hot dog stand outside. Like, I'm part of your experience and shit like that. I'm not the guy that's like, I'm like trying to learn or go to a game and stuff, but there's not as much hype. It's not as loud as it was last year. But Knicks need to go on some sort of run, where they need to win like 8 games in a row, where it sort of breaks out and beats out like, 70s, and go ahead of, right now we're just like, what are we, like in 9th? We're on the bottom.
Yeah.
We're right now, all hype and ideas is like, if we beat Celtics or like the Bucks and just like knock them out. But like right now, all the hype of New York is around the Brooklyn Nets for like more negative reasons and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So unfortunately, like I'm not paying attention even as much, and I haven't been out there as much. But I need to just kind of, feel it out as far as I don't know if it's. How do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like the games are as hype as it was last? Is that what's the experience? Do you feel as hopeful as you did last year?
I'll make it real quick and I'll throw it over to Phil. When it comes to hype, I wouldn't say hype. I would say that the disappointment is more. We have more of a disappointment than we do hype than when it came to like last year and the year before. But this season, but that's Knicks fans in general, right? We haven't won since the 70s. So anytime we sniff some type of competency, us Knicks fans, we lose our mind and think that we're going to be the number 1 seed in the division, or we're going to be the number 1 team in the league, which is, not reality. But when it comes to this team, I think Knicks fans, one thing about Knicks fans is that we are loyal, right? As long as the front office, and that's one thing that I've always been preaching, as long as the front office lets us know what's the direction for this team, whether it is they're going to break everything down and rebuild, whether it's they're going to compete for a playoff spot, whatever the direction is, let us fans know. Because me as a fan, talking for me personally, I'm going to support you no matter what. It's when you try to pull the wool over my eyes. It's when you try to sugarcoat stuff and say, oh, we're going to do this, when actually we're going to do that. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah. So for me, I would kind of compare it to how hip hop is for me. Like there comes times where I'm just like, I'm not really excited about it. I'll hear a song or two and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. But I haven't really heard anything that makes me go, this is why I fell in love with hip hop. But then an album like Nas King's Disease 3 will come out and I'll be like, okay, this is kind of reminiscent of what I fell in love with. So I feel like the Knicks have kind of been on this little up and down kind of coaster, which is fun, but it's not really exciting. Like it has its ups, its downs. What we need, like you said, is that run that makes you feel that drop, you throw your arms up, you scream at the top of your freaking lungs because you're excited, and you enjoy the rest of the ride because of that thrill. So I feel like where we're at is just in that little up and down loopy loop instead of feeling that thrill right now. Something like, 3 or 4 games back to back where we actually show up like we did the other night, instead of being like, let's hope we get this game, but to really be like, yo, we're going in there with the New York attitude. We're going to win, like all across the board. Knicks fans believe we're going to win, instead of every other Twitter is like, nope, we're going to win. Nope, we're going to lose. Nope, we're going to win. Here's why we're going to lose. Here's why we're going to win. Like, we haven't hit that point in the season yet where we can throw up our arms and enjoy.
Really plays a big part in momentum, because you'd be lying if you'd say the players aren't looking at stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And you internalize it. And when you get a moment and you go from the bottom, right? Like, and I would say not to say I was at the bottom, but I kind of went from street performing to being, I did 3 seasons of Wild 'N Out, right? And I lost to Shaun, and I'll tell you, in the upcoming season, I go against him again and I beat him.
Nice.
And it's not even to beat him. It's a body.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, yeah, see, I fucking told you.
Talk your shit, my guy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And then I just entered a rap battle again, and I destroyed somebody. It was bananas. And I didn't even believe in myself, but you practice so much that you start killing. I mean, these guys are all professional basketball players, right? They get paid millions of dollars to play ball. They could beat the other person on any given day, because every one of them is essentially that good, except unless it's like the elite, the top 1% of the 1%. And there needs to be when it's a group thing, when like an entire city is behind you. And the cool thing about Knicks fans, and this is really appealing to me, and this is just for anyone that's trying to gain fans or a following, is that when someone rocks with you, whether you lose or you win, I mean, that's every musician's dream, right? It's like that these people are with you the entire way, whether you rise or you fall. Yeah. I mean, if you look at celebrities and like Johnny Depp and then Amber, it's saying this is crazy to say, but this dude could do something totally wrong and people still rock with him. Like, people could, just imagine if Kyrie Irving was on the Knicks. See, what would it would have been a totally different reaction.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Even though it's like some shit you definitely don't want, but like, that's the craziest thing. It's like, who is really a Nets, the Nets fan? It's a new team. So it's not even possible for it to exist. It's like sort of like being a fan of a Rolling Loud rapper to the death of you. Like it's just a different experience. They don't even understand a certain point of life. Like a Nas fan is gonna already, his house could have burnt down. He could have built a whole community and been a mayor, and he's still like and parents died and had grandkids, and he's a Nas fan. You know what I'm saying? Other people don't have a chance yet. And the only reason I was bringing it up is because if you look at Knicks fans, and this is the craziest shit, is that like just even hanging out with Anthony MSG when he does this big gathering of stuff. Yeah. I mean, the stories of fans, that's really the coolest part about the entire Knicks experience. That I met people that don't know me from anything, and they're just huge Knicks fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's sort of my biggest joy from all of it, is that every time I go out there, people know who I am, and I'm sort of like a fixture. You become a fixture. And then sports writers are like writing about you, even though you have nothing to do with sports. But cool story about MSG is that Wild 'N Out is going to be there.
Fire!
First,
nice.
So I'm going to get to go, and I don't know if I'm performing, but
what date was that?
Game or something. But the fact that I even get a chance to go in is pretty crazy.
What date was that?
December 1st.
December 1st. All right.
So that's next
Tickets
week,
are like
Thursday.
$30. Like, it's going to be pretty cool.
That's awesome. Next week, Thursday.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you being here, bro.
Is there I'm sorry, Phil. I just want to ask him this question. Kosha, can we see any features coming up from you when it comes to other rappers that are Knicks fans? Like, Marlon Craft is a rapper who I've really been following over the past few years, and he is a diehard Knicks fan. He's a rapper who hails from Hell's Kitchen. Immortal Technique is also another rapper who's a diehard Knicks fan. Is there any features that you have lined up with like rappers who are affiliated or Knicks fans themselves?
I would love to. I was just thinking, I was like, man, I would love to do a song. I'm friends with some of Marlon Craft's people. I'm friends with cool with Marlon Craft too. I think he's one of the best as far as phenomenal. Like people that rap about things with substance and care about saying things that I care about. He's just a cool person. Like, and I'm just friends with some of his people, his video guy, Jacob. So shout out to Marlon. And Papa Left is like a great rapper. I'm friends with him. Yeah. So I would totally love to. Moral Technique. I don't think he would ever rap about the Knicks. true story though, one of my first rap battles when I was a teenager was with Immortal Technique before he was even immortal. It was just Technique, and oh man, he wiped the floor with me, man. Yeah, but he was he's one of the best in the early battle years, you know, and to see what he's done is it's I don't know, man. He's really he also created a cult following. It's just it's cool that what he's done, and he's done some amazing things around the world. So you know, shout out to Mortal. I mean, he's built schools in Afghanistan, like shit, dope shit. You know, so I didn't even know he was that big of a Knicks fan. But to be honest, I mean, right after I did stuff with Fat Joe, I mean, I still have the money that he gave me on my refrigerator. Jada Kiss was there too. So, I mean, I would have loved to do something. I don't know how big Jada is a fan of the Knicks, but I would always hope for. But, you know, there's probably some amazing R&B singers that no one knows outside of rap that are just, you know, just Knicks fans too. So, yeah. I mean,
we're going to have to line it up, guys. We got to line up a Kosha Dillz VIP episode. We just invite some of these hip hop heads on, and we just have a full blown battle or session.
Just a cipher, straight cipher.
Also, Kosha, I was with Michael Day the other night, so he told me to tell you what's up. He was like, "Oh, you got Kosha on the show," so he wanted me to say what's up. Man, December 1st, right around the corner, guys. I don't know. Knicks Morning Brew over at the game just seems
I don't know, man. I may be able to pull out a ticket and head over there because, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be cool. I'm definitely going to be there. And then my next other New York show is, you know, I'm doing comedy shows too in New York. So I got a while, then I started doing comedy. And so I got one on December 8th. I'm posting everything on my Instagram. And I also have a show tonight, actually, with Street Talk Comedy. And December 24th, Christmas Eve, which is also Hanukkah, I'm playing Tao, the nightclub Tao. You can eat sushi and drink. So hit me up if you got no Hanukkah plans or no Christmas Eve plans. I want to just come catch your boy. It's gonna be fire. And if you want to get bougie with it, I know that's not usually my steez either. But
listen, you had me at sushi and drinks. That sounds like a night right there. He said, "Come have some sushi and drinks." I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm definitely down for that. But appreciate the work that you have done, Kosha. Especially like you said, the craziness that's going on with like the Brooklyn Nets and everything out there. Your past two tracks, when you dropped the DEFCON or whatever, phenomenal track. People have to understand the intersectionality when it comes to attacking some of this bigotry that's out there in the world. Kosha Dillz, keep doing what you're doing. Immortal Technique is somebody that I've been following ever since I was younger, you know, being Puerto Rican, being Taino, going every year to Indigenous People Day, seeing Immortal Technique there and what he's done. It is truly wonders. And Kosha Dillz, you are fighting the good fight out there, you yourself and Papa Left as well.
Word up.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Like I said, you know, I've been following you for a while, so I appreciate you taking the time. Like my brother was saying, you know, like there are some great people. Like our boy Julito is a great artist, big Knicks fan, you know, so we would love to set something up, get some other, you know, New York Knick, you know, hip hop heads in a cipher someday and just do a Knicks Morning Brew, like grab your coffee, grab your notebook, you know, and just start spitting to some, you know, really dope beats. So we appreciate you. If you wouldn't mind, some people watching might not know what you do. Like, would you mind taking us out with a few bars?
Yeah. What should I shout out? Next morning. Okay. I'll just do a little something real quick.
Yeah.
You guys ready? Okay, cool. Let's see. All right. The kid get mo flavor. Knicks Morning Brew, and I'm moving to the bodega. Speaking on the pedestal like a O-Raider. Then he's seeing 9 on record like, oh, wait up. I won it. Yeah, I always keep it 100. And I'm trying to get that record over like a 500. Dillz on the microphone. Yeah, I get the 5 bugging. All right. Even if you see my mind loving, I got bus great. Yeah, I get 7 right in a row. Kind of like Queens with the subway. Dillz, I got enough pay. Just kidding. I could get an A or C on the Raw, even if I take the J train on 34th and Herald. On the microphone, I met you. Everything is kind of worded great. Jersey hate, kind of like a 38 special. The girl said I was special. Dillz on the microphone. I never had to send a text to another player. Shoot for 3, another layup. About time. When I'm switched from the foul line, I'm kind of like, yeah. all over the map with it, but I'm getting better at the foul line like Shaq with it. Hey.
Hey.
Let's go.
Kosha Dillz, Kosha Dillz. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Pick up your Kosha merch. Link will be in the description, and we will definitely keep in touch. We definitely want to support you at your shows, whether 100%. It's hip hop or comedy. So thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you, and we will keep in touch. Keep
man. Send me the clips. I'll post it, and I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. I wish I had the button to drop the Dom DeMarco after you just did that. Yo, Coach, later, baby.
Later,
peace,
brother.
guys.
Later, bro.
Peace.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was dope.
I mean, listen, even my wife, he said, hey. Check a nerve with the hey, it's a Flames. Yo, so we got another guest backstage. So yes. I want to talk about this real quick because my brother sends Hector and I was like, yo, there's this artist. Check him out. Sends over the pictures. That's it. I'm in love, as in like, I'm like, yo, 100%. How much is this piece? How much for custom? And then I saw the pricing. And I was like, it's going to happen. And then I put my kids up for sale on eBay. No hits yet, but we're going to work on the money. But this dude's art is fantastic. And we want to bring him up. Tom Sanford. How you doing, Tom?
Tommy, what it do, baby?
I hit him with the mute button. I'm sorry, Tom.
Oh, Tom, you got to unmute yourself, brother.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Oh, one more time. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I'm on
there
mute.
It is.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. What it do, baby?
I'm doing good. I just got a chance to get most of my Hanukkah shopping done right while I was watching you guys. I got a bunch of those hats coming.
There you go.
Fire. Nice. Get so your early Hanukkah shopping in. That's dope. That's so dope.
So, Tom, man, appreciate you stopping by. I know Phil's got stuff he wants to talk about, but I just wanted to tell you, while everybody's watching, we'll drop your links in there. Mm-hmm. Your art, Tom, is ridiculous. And I don't mean just the Knicks stuff and Yankee stuff that I'm already in love with, but overall, I mean, how long have you been in the art industry? Like, how did this all come together?
I've been painting and drawing all my life, and I guess I haven't had like a job in 20 years. So,
that picture that you have right behind your head, that coffee cup that's right there, there.
Because you were talking about, the Greek coffee cups earlier. So
that is phenomenal.
I'm like a Captain Leche kind of guy. I live up in West Harlem, so
that's what I'm talking about.
Leche up here.
That's what I'm talking about, awesome. Tom.
Yeah.
So, Tom, I know that we have you as our guest in 2 weeks, so I don't want to give away too many of the goodies. But I saw your art and I was blown away because I love how, and this is how I found out about you first was the Ewing Athletics, and seeing, your painting turned into a shoe, which is super, super dope. But I saw your work and I loved the fact that you weren't just creating based off of an image, but you take that image and you create it in a style that's so uniquely yours. And I'm not the only one who's noticed it. Other people have noticed it, which is why you have a freaking gallery up right now. And so I wanted to make sure that before we let your gallery close, because when we have you on the guest is past that, we want to make sure that we gave you a platform to promote what you're doing right now so that people can make it out to the gallery. They can hear about that event that you have at MSG. So would you share with our viewers what you got going on right now, how they can be a part of it, where they can pick up your paintings, and then they'll get to know who you really are though in about 2 weeks.
All right. Thanks. So I've got an exhibition at a place called My Pet Ram Gallery, which is down on the Lower East Side. It's at 48 Hector, which is between
Hector Ludlow.
Yeah, it's near.
I know exactly where it's at. That was my stomping grounds. I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah, so it's conveniently located. You can go get your hair cut at Frank's around the corner and check out the art. But so the reason I did this show is a couple of years ago, Dave from Ewing Athletics got in touch with me because he saw an earlier Ewing painting of mine and he wanted to do a shoe collaboration. And of course, that was a thrill for me because, you know, I've been a New Yorker for most of my life, and I grew up watching Knicks games when I should have been doing my homework back in the early 90s and late 80s. You know, like I'm kind of like Stu Jackson, sort of Gerald Wilkins vintage, like Knick fan. But anyway, so when Ewing Athletic got in touch, you know, I was totally pumped, and of course I wanted to do the show. And so the shoe is coming out on November 18th. And so I put together like a little exhibition of some New York sports hero paintings to kind of like celebrate the shoe thing. So, you know, you've got the two paintings that the sneaker's based on, both of Patrick Ewing. One of the paintings is on the box. Unfortunately, I don't have a box here. I have the sneaker here, and that has a little painting of Patrick there, and this kind of pattern is sort of based on stuff.
It's so fire.
They gave me this nice gold detail back here, which I really like. And so there's paintings of just like a whole bunch of my, you know, all-time favorite athletes from New York, or New York athletes when I was a kid. Like I got like John McEnroe, LT. I got Messier, you know, our Messiah. I've got Donnie Baseball. You know, I got Dr. K, and I've got Darryl Strawberry. I'm trying to think if there's any more paintings there. I guess there are.
Don Mattingly.
So, yeah, that's
Don
some
Mattingly.
kind of gallery. Yeah. Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, exactly. I got Mike Tyson in the show. But anyway, so just like kind of like a few of my favorites growing up, along with Patrick. And so for the show, that's going through November 3rd. I'm sorry, December 3rd. But during the show, I hooked up with the girls from Knicks OmniFans. So there's my son Simon with Patrick. You know, he came by the house.
Oh, nice.
And I hooked. Doing this thing where we're going to wrap a pair of hand painted Ewings I made. And we're going to, you know, they're selling the raffle tickets for $10 each through Ewing Athletic. There's a link in my Instagram for it, but like in my profile, but like all of the money's going to benefit like 100% why women in sports and events. And we're going to do the drawing at the Cavs game. So I'm hoping for a win that night, you know, to see who, like they're doing a fan event where there's, I think, 33 fans come.
Nice.
That's awesome. I think we're getting a little.
You guys all freeze on me?
Action. Yep. All right. So we have Tom's voice.
Oh yeah, we can hear you, Tom. You just stuck in the matrix right there, my guy.
Have I lost you?
We hear you. We just can't see you.
We hear you. I just want to know when is this art gallery, because I think it says it's opening Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. 48 Hector Street. That's Hector and Ludlow, right in the Lower East Side. I know exactly where that's at. Once I saw the address 48 Hector, I was like, hold on, I have to go and double check where this is at. But I know exactly where that's at. It's really not that far from the New York Poetry Cafe that Kosha Dillz was talking about a little bit earlier when he was on.
Well, it's dope.
I think he said
we've got Tom coming on in a couple of weeks, right? 2 weeks. He's coming on as a guest. We'll talk about that. We'll also sit here and spend some of the episode of me trying to sales pitch him on a custom piece for my wall. Right?
I mean, think about how beautiful would it be with his
custom work.
He's gonna keep dropping that
instead of this freaky door. Like, come on! Like,
it's the image within the image within the image, bro.
Right.
And that's exactly what it is.
That creepiness or a Tom Sanford painting? All right, whatever. I'm done. Kosha Dillz, appreciate you tuning in, coming on the show. That was dope. Let's talk about our Knicks. We got our boys in the chat. Shout out to everybody in there, including the wifeys. Oh my God, we got wifey action on the show. Now it makes me wonder, because I haven't been talking a lot on the other shows. Was that the Kosha Dillz effect? They're like, oh, we know that name. They didn't come originally for the Portos and the Hector. Anyway, whatever.
You're right. I had to text my girlfriend to jump in the chat. You know, I'm feeling
Why
left
aren't
out
you
here.
in there? Their wives are in the chat. That's it.
No, but let's do it real quick. Let's throw it around. You know, do a little round table real quick when it comes to these Knicks. We hinted about and we talked about for a little bit. You know, let's touch back on it when it comes to these trades or potential trades, right? So Emmanuel Quickly is the first one. You guys know how I feel about that. If we trade Quickly and D Rose, who's our backup? Who's our backup point guard when it comes to that? So I'll throw it over to you, Phil, and throw it over to Jiggaman. Are you trying to trade quickly? Is that someone you're trying to trade, Phil?
So here's the thing. I like Quick. Okay. I like Quick a lot, but we have so many guards right now that like I feel can do what he does. Like when it comes like defensively, he's great. But if players like McBride are ever going to see any growth or any minutes, that's going to be stumped by having him and Rose there. I think this is actually one of the only times I can say that I actually think if what I think is happening from the front office, it is strategic, because them wanting that first round pick allows them to say who we get in the trade is going to be good. And then who we get in the draft is going to have just as much potential, if not more, than Quickly. So if we, pour into him for a year or two, if a team needs a win now guy, Quickly's going to help them off the bench get buckets immediately. Could even make some starting lineups. But since we are not a going to the championship team for this year, like not even close, unless, things start clicking a lot faster than we expect, having that first round pick in a draft that is so deep kind of helps us out because we will get back what we give away and more. So I'm for it. As much as I like Quickly, I'm for it. I typically, when I'm like sold on a player, I get that jersey year one. I haven't gotten a Quick jersey, like, and I've liked him, but I haven't gotten that far to where would say that I'm on the Quickly train. So if he's got to go, he's got to go.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jigga.
Hi, I'm Jigga Porto, and I like to sound like a broken record. I don't care. It sucks.
As long as it's not.
If it's not my boy Obi, I'm okay. Does it suck? Yeah, it does, right? He's coming into his own, right? I think he's starting to show he really is a lockdown defender, right? It was just 3 games ago where we saw that lockdown IQ game, right? I think it does leave us in a position, like you said, Hector, who's our backup point guard, right? But, I mean, we also have a coach who let Burks run point guard for us for an entire season. So, I mean, obviously he has no problem throwing somebody else in there out of position, right? If we got to trade IQ, and I'll say it again, because it means we're getting rid of Randall, it's unfortunate, but it has to happen. So load up what you got to load up to make it happen. Quick, Rose, Fournier, Randall, those are going to be gone. Chris Joseph, right? If we can trade Quick, Rose, Randall, and picks for a stud, how can we not be for it, right?
Yeah.
How
But
can
that's
we
the
not?
thing. We can't keep Quick and Toppin. Like like that's the big conversation is that when it comes to Quick, Toppin, and Grimes, we're going to have to let somebody go. We need a wing. Grimes can play that wing. He can also play the shooting guard. So we need that. And he's got that same kind of lockdown defense that Quickly has. If this is any sign, it shows that we are not willing to get rid of Toppin, which is a great thing because that gives us hope that Randall is out the door soon. Because if they're willing to trade Quick, that means that they want to keep Toppin, and that means Toppin's our future, and Randall's not going to finish out his contract in New York. So that is all things that make my heart flutter. So
again, if losing IQ gives me the reassurance that it's because Opie is going to get what he needs and we're going to get rid of Randall, I'm for it, Hector. I mean, Hector, how do you really feel? I mean, I know you're a big IQ fan, but
no, I'm a big IQ fan, right? But reality is what reality is, right? The numbers don't lie. Ever since Emmanuel Quickly has come into the league, he hasn't shot over 40% from the field. From the field, let alone from beyond the arc, from the field, he hasn't shot above 40%. Is he streaky? Yes, he's streaky. Is he something that you would like to have on your team? Yes. But the way that our team is constructed right now, we are not winning a championship with Emmanuel Quickly. We are not winning a playoff series, the first round, second, whatever, with Emmanuel Quickly on this team, let alone with Julius Randle on this team. So with the players that we have right now, we really have to take our fan glasses off, right? We're all fans. We love these players, especially the young kids that we draft, but we got to be real. Realism is what it is. We're not winning a championship with Emmanuel Quickly. So if we could get back any type of draft asset to build it on for the future, we got to look towards the future, right? Getting Obi Toppin more minutes in the starting rotation, that's a move for the future. That's what we need to do. When you look at Emmanuel Quickly, we have Jalen Brunson already there, right? We have RJ Barrett at the 2. We got Cam Reddish at the 3. We got Quentin Grimes. Emmanuel Quickly is not going to be a starter on this team.
Right.
No. And the thing is,
we need to trade him to a situation where he can be a starter. My fault, Phil. Go ahead, brother.
No, like you said, like he has those streaky moments, but do we extend a contract that's streaky? Like that doesn't really help us at all, And one thing that Chris said was like, if worse came to worse and we needed a streaky shooter, we are already stuck with the Fournier contract. Like if we just need a roster spot filled that can be a possible streaky shooter, might as well bring in the person that at least, like had the better percentage from 3, with his streakiness. Not saying I want Fournier in, but if like freeing up space for what we're doing in the future means he gets a few more minutes as we figure things out, whatever. Like,
yeah, but you know what? I kind of like what Blood of the Panta says. Quick deserves to be here more than Fournier and can net you more assets if he becomes a consistent. Use the seconds to move Fournier. Do you think that's a better play? I mean, it's probably tougher of a situation. No one's really wanted to take that Fournier play, but
yeah, no one's knocking on our door for Fournier, like at all.
And that's the thing. No one's, like you said, Phil. No one's knocking on our door for Fournier, right? And I don't want us to trade Fournier while giving up a first round pick in order to trade Fournier. Now, if we trade IQ, get a couple draft picks back, and then trade Fournier afterwards with those draft pick, cool. But DHJ said if we get rid of IQ for draft picks, then this front office cannot be a part of this organization going forward. I don't trust them to make good decisions during the draft. I couldn't say better myself, DSJ.
Here's the thing. I understand, but I also have to play devil's advocate on this and push back a little bit. We can't say that they don't know anything or we can't trust them in the draft because Toppin is a great player. Like, Grimes was a great pick, like, for us. So the reason we are even talking about Quick being able to be traded is because we picked him. So obviously we're not doing bad, like in our draft picks. Like, Quick's already getting the attention from other teams to be traded. So we're doing something semi-decent in the draft because we're getting players that are making a difference for us and players that other teams are like, they could be a difference maker for us as well.
Yeah, but if we don't change our coach, then who gives a crap? Right? Like,
but that's different.
Again,
coach and front office are different.
I understand that. I agree with you 100% there. But my thing is, again, we've got so many more questions and answers, and I'm going to keep saying that every time we're on this show because it's the truth. We could sit here and spend a whole time talking about the IQ trade, but then it's also, okay, but what are we bringing back? What are we really going after? What do we really need? What are we really replacing? Then we can sit here and talk about, great, we're going to get young guys in the draft, and okay, great. For what? To put them with Tibbs and watch the same bull crap?
Yeah. And here's the thing, though, is like, what if we do trade Quick, get someone in the draft? Here's the thing. We always say we got to give credit where it's due. This last game's rotations made so much more sense in this last game than in any game that Thibodeau has coached as a Knick. Like, his rotations actually made sense to the point where he brought in McBride to be a defensive power. And McBride, out of nowhere, plays almost 15 minutes. So I can't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry
right now.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, bro. For real. Can we give that credit to Tibbs, Or is it the fact that he was put into position that he had no choice with minor injuries, things going on? I can't sit here and say, oh, look, because I agree with you. Yeah, we saw Grimes. We saw McBride. We got to see things we wanted. But I think it's not because he was making adjustments as all of a sudden he's learning new tricks. I think it was by force. He had no choice but to put those guys in.
Well, no, because the only one who's been injured, or still on the injured, is Rose. Mitch is back, so we've actually had more players available for this game than we have all season. And yeah, so we'll get on that. But we had more players available, and he still kept Fournier on the bench. He could have brought Fournier back up instead of McBride, but we didn't see that. So as much as I throw stones, I also don't want to throw a stone here because we don't know if that came from him or if it came from the front office. I don't really care. We saw players that we have been dying to see get minutes, and they got minutes and they made an impact in our game. We went from getting our teeth kicked in from them to actually beating them. So I'm going to consider that a victory and say, okay, let's see what's going on.
Yeah, and hold on. Blood of the Panta. Tibbs didn't develop these kids. The kids self-developed 100%, right? Yep. Out of the poor circumstances Tibbs put them in. Actually developing looks like supporting them through their mistakes and giving experience. Blood of Panta, whoever you are 100% right. Because when it comes to Tibbs, yes, he played McBride. He had no choice to play McBride. He literally had no choice to play McBride. Mitchell Robinson only played 13 minutes, right?
Isaiah and then Mitch got hurt again.
And then he gets hurt again. Hartenstein and Jericho Sims played 16 to 15 minutes apiece, right? Even with Mitch getting hurt, even with Hartenstein and Jericho Sims only getting 15, 16 minutes, Obi Toppin only played 18 minutes. Still, Julius Randle played 33 minutes. I'm sorry. Julius Randle should not be playing 33 minutes. 30 minutes the most. 33 minutes, I'm not sure. Granted, it was less than Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett, but not by that much.
Yeah.
Two things I want to highlight in the chat as well. Yes. Everything that sounds amazing, Chris, I agree with you. Any plan that we come up with that sounds amazing, I'm right there with you. It all matters if Tibbs is gone. So let's start putting like a TM at the end of that, right? Yes. This would work if Tibbs was gone. Like it should be like said at the end of everything. And VSN, what up, my guys? Evan is done. I'm glad they know it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Right? It's a matter of do you think Tibbs also knows, like, man, if I put this dude in, I already got so many strikes against me. This fan base is going to revolt. Like, he's just not even bothering looking at Evan at this point. He's like, sit down.
Well, I got to give my hat to Evan. Okay. This is a pretty crappy situation for him. You know, he came here, thought he was going to have the team that he had been waiting for while he was in Orlando. Doesn't work out. He's about to have a kid. So, like, if he does get traded, he's going to be away from his family. And what do you see this man doing? He's on the bench, encouraging, empowering, and, like, congratulating his teammates. Like, I'm sorry, that shows some mad character. So I give my, like, hat to Evan Fournier because he's getting no minutes, still celebrating people, still encouraging people. And then you got guys like Julius Randle who got 33 plus minutes, can't celebrate nobody, can't rejoice with nobody, can't enjoy the victory with his team. So I give props to Evan because, yes, I'm glad he's not playing, but he is still showing that he is a stand-up guy and that he's for the team. So I'm thankful for that.
Yo, Hector, I'm gonna throw this one to you real quick.
What's up, baby?
Chris the Flash. What up, Chris, in the chat? I don't know if y'all saw this, but how do you feel about Mark Jackson as the coach?
I'm sorry. I know a lot of Knicks fans want Mark Jackson to be the coach. I really don't. I'm sorry. I don't want Mark Jackson to be the coach of this team. That's just me personally how I feel, but no. I'm sorry. He coached up Golden State, but there was a reason Golden State let him go for Steve Kerr. And that's what I'm sticking with. How you doing?
Oh, snap. He felt good about that take. He felt good. It got the chest pump. How you doing?
Yeah. No, but also, too, I wanted to point out because Phil was talking about Evan Fournier. In the NBA, right, the league average defensive rating is 118.6. That's league average, right, defensive rating. Evan Fournier's defensive rating is 97.5. League average is 108. Evan Fournier is 97.5. He is 20 points under the league average when it comes to defensive rating. And on top of it, when Evan Fournier is on the court, this New York Knicks teams per 100 possession, they give up 160 points. That numbers don't lie. Evan Fournier is trash defensively, and I think that's why he's not seeing the court. And on top of it, when he was seeing the court, he was horrible when it came to his offensive output. He was literally having the worst stats of his entire career. I understand he only played in about 10 games, but it's still the worst in his career.
Yeah.
Averaging 6.9 points per game, 23.3% from beyond the arc, and 34% from the field.
Do you agree with this? Fournier would hit 2 or 3 threes off the bench against other teams' B squads. We play like we have a big three, but our big three isn't that good. I agree. I can't sit here and say we have our big three, right? I mean, we're hoping we'll have a situation where we'll be able to test out who our big three is, right? And we can pretty much come to mind who that's going to be. But even if he does hit those 2 or 3 threes, I don't think it's worth the headache of having him in there, taking minutes away from other people, and then the liability of him on defense. So even if it is those 2 or 3 threes, I'd rather see RJ try to remember how to get back into the swing of things, like, right? If we see an RJ that comes back like he did the other night, that could be we can find some threes from RJ, right? We can spread it around. I'm okay with Fournier not coming back out, period.
Yeah.
Period. Same. 100%
yeah,
same.
I don't think we see him. And to answer, Jigga's question, no. like Hector said, here's the thing is we're trying to get out of a coach that was good in his heyday before. We're getting these young guys. We're getting a new vision, a new direction for the Knicks. I think bringing Jackson in would be hurtful. I honestly think he did a good job when he was in Golden State, but like Hector said, Kerr came in with that young new coach, fresh mentality, and that's when we saw the Warriors actually thrive. I think if we go with a young coach now and we use what Tibbs did in the bubble and whatever, because he did do well in the bubble. He actually got us out of a full-on losing mentality. And then we get a fresh coach to work with what we have now, then we're going to have something great. I think if we go back and we're like, oh, who was a good coach 10 years ago? Let's hire them. We're just going to be in the same trajectory we are right now with Tibbs as our coach.
There's a reason why other NBA teams didn't hire or haven't hired Mark Jackson to be their head coach. There's a reason for it, right? Steve Kerr, the first year on Steve Kerr, Steph Curry wins his first MVP. There's a reason for it. This is not flukes. There's reasons for it, right? So there's a reason why Mark Jackson is not a head coach, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Fair. Very fair. It's like you two know what the hell you're talking about. It's so weird. You know what? We should start a show.
We should start a show.
And we should talk about the Knicks or something. What do you guys think? I
the
think
vibe video on demand. I'm
down. Man, yeah, guys. I mean, again, there's just so many questions, right? Am I happy about our OKC win? Of course, right? I'm happy anytime we get a win. That's the point of loving your sports team, no matter what, right? I mean, we complain when we win, we complain when we lose. We just know there's a lot of pieces that we need solved. And I feel like I'm worried that we're going to keep stacking up issues, right? Like we're not even addressing the fact that, hey, we got a big man in Mitch. We love Mitch, but Mitch can't stay healthy. We get Mitch back. We're happy to see him in a game, and it's third quarter. Boom, Mitch isn't coming back out. We got a Mitch problem, guys.
Yeah.
We got to move on.
I'm switching into this conversation, okay? Because there's so much we can talk about, but we've got a Mitch problem. Are you guys already? Are you on that boat? Are you on that page with me which says, hey, we need to find another piece, or hey, I need to see a lot more Sims action?
Oh, I'm on
becoming a Sims super fan, bro.
Yeah, I'm simping for Sims. I want to see more. Jericho out there. The walls of Jericho. Break the walls down. I want to see more Jericho Sim out. Yo, bro, you got to change your background. Because you have lights that's going on in your background right now. That just scared the ever-loving crap out of me.
It keeps you on your toes.
Jesus
That's why I do
Christ.
it. I feel like you
Keep
got
me on my toes.
Like,
Keep me on my toes. Jesus. What is wrong with you, you psycho?
that was hurtful. Jeez. Phil, how you feeling about the Sim situation? I'm liking the kid a lot. I mean, he's raw. Obviously, has a lot that he has to improve. But don't you improve by getting more play time? I mean,
and that's the thing is, I like Mitch, okay, but I do not think Mitch has enough of an upside to make us think that Sims cannot easily replace him with some more minutes. Like, yes, he is a little bit better at rim protection, okay? But if we really believe that, then why do we need to run a completely clog the paint defense? If he is such a great rim protector, why do we need all four guys also clogging the paint? We don't. So Mitch is good, but he is not defensively that much further than Sims. I think Sims can definitely get to where Mitch's ceiling is. And I think that Sims' ceiling will be higher once he actually gets those minutes. And offensively, he is leaps and bounds going to have a higher ceiling than Mitch. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, with Mitch, I was saying it the other day, I don't remember who I was talking to, but with Mitch, he gets the alley-oops if the pass is perfectly put to him. He jumps up, dunks it. Sims creates that alley-oop. Like, you see that play with him and RJ. RJ gave him the nod, and what do you see? You see Sims run and jump as if he's freaking LeBron in Space Jam and just catches it in the air and just like soars. Like, that's insane. And that was just as much a part of like Sims doing it than it was RJ, as opposed to quickly gave the perfect pass, Mitchell grabbed it and dunked it. I think Sims' ceiling is way higher. So if we get an opportunity to move Mitch and it gets us something else that can help, then I say move Mitch. We got Hartenstein off the bench. Let him and Sims knock off those minutes. Give Obi more minutes as well. Play some small ball and see where it goes. I like Mitch. I just don't think that he is our future. I think we jumped way too quick in giving him the contract.
But the thing with that, Phil, is if we recognize the flaws that are Mitchell Robinson, right? Other NBA teams have to recognize those flaws as well, right? Sure. So if you were the GM or the president of basketball operations for another NBA team, would you trade for Mitchell Robinson?
It depends on the team. Like our team is not a great 3-point shooting team. So we need somebody that's constantly going to grab boards. Like I see Mitch on a team that has better shooting power, like where they are good defensively and don't have to rely on his strengths in the paint solely as their defense. Like, imagine him on a team like Golden State. I think he flourishes. Imagine him on a team like Portland coming off the bench. I think he flourishes. Like, I don't think that where we are at, where we have small ball, where we don't really have the greatest of 3-point shooters and so forth, I think he just doesn't fit what we're doing. I think he could be a good fit other places. I think the only thing that's going to be our issue is we are trying to then sell an injured player. He has spent more time on the injured list than he has actually playing in his time as a Knick. That's going to be the hardest part to move his contract.
Listen, I'm going to start a new thing on our show. It's called The Comment of the Day That Makes My Heart Go beep, boom, 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 boom. I need a better name for it because that's a long title.
Comment of the day.
I don't know. We'll figure something out.
But Blood has been having a bunch of those comments.
Right, Blood of Fanta, killing it today.
Exactly. But no, he said it right. Brunson played best with Dwight Powell at the 5. Obi is better than Dwight Powell. Find a coach, get one who can develop, and let Obi be the center and put some NBA muscle. I agree. So we just need.
Who is this guy?
I don't know. I think it's my mother, but I just want to see
Hey,
it change.
Mom.
No, I don't know who it is.
Right.
Whoever it
guys,
is, salute to you. Good takes all day.
Great takes.
Definitely great takes all day. But guys, anything else to say? The Knicks, they got 4 days off, starting Tuesday, so their next game won't be till Friday. So thank God we won. Because if we would have lost and had to sit 4 days with trying to figure out what are we going to talk about, I would have lost my mind. But
but the good thing
won.
is we're Knicks fans, right? Win or lose, we obviously have more than enough to talk about because I checked into the KCDA Twitter Spaces, people going off in that one. Okay, seeing Papa Lev's one and VSN's one. I mean, I love the Knicks universe, man. Like we always got stuff. It's funny, you get the same energy when you win and you get the same energy when you lose because we all understand we got some issues that need to be solved. So I'm excited for that. But before we end the show, shout out to everybody in the chat for always tapping in. Appreciate your guys' support. Hope everybody has an amazing Thanksgiving. Shout out to Kosha Dillz for coming through today. Shout out to Tom Sanford. Make sure you go check it out. The links are in the bio. Shout out to the sponsors we're working with, Homage. I mean, just everybody that we're working with. Also, big shout out, guys. Tune in. Knicks Morning Brew keeps it going. Next Wednesday, you guys here? November 30th, we got our boy Ja Rule coming on the panel to hang out. Talk some hip-hop. We've got so much lined up. And I appreciate you, Phil. Appreciate you, Hector. Love doing this show, man. We're just getting started. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Likewise. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. On that note, I'll get off my soapbox. Take it away. Somebody do something. Somebody.
Shout out to Coach Dillz and Tom Sanford. Thank you both so much for being on the show. Go to Kosha Dillz' comedy shows. Find him on the streets. Support him. Pick up some merch. Support what he's doing in trying to educate anti-Semitism and just loving other people. Shout out to Tom Sanford. Please support his art show. Please support his event at the Garden. Like, this guy has the heart of a New Yorker, and he's been supportive for years to the organization of the Knicks, the Yankees, and so forth. So thank him for being on the show. And have a happy Thanksgiving. And I'm going to throw it over to my boy Hector to close it out.
I can't say anything else but behind you, Phil. Shout out to Jigga. Shout out to Phil. I love doing the show with you, bros. I honestly do. I'm so happy that we are here. We have this space. Like you said, shout out to Tom. Shout out to Kosha Dill. I talked about it a little bit, but Kosha Dill and the battle against bigotry that him, Papa Left and other people are battling right now. Like you said, his work against anti-Semitism, the intersectionality of it all, it's all a big thing. But yeah, appreciate my bros. Hopefully everybody has a beautiful Turkey Day, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or whether you celebrate, Tribal Nation Day, however you want to pull it. Peace and blessings to all, and we out. Peace out.